Parking here for 20 minutes could cost violators upwards of $20. Upon harvesting the animal, hunters must cut out the correct month and day on the hunting tag and immediately attach it to the animal. A new federal study shows Montana tops the nation in the number of DUI-related fatalities. Over 100 people died on Montana roadways last year in alcohol-related crashes. Many brands of food note the allergens contained near the ingredient list. Thanks, that's right. The new ban goes into effect starting fall 2011. The university decided to implement the policy in response to studies showing the dangers of secondhand smoke. The chair of UM's Tobacco Task Force, Julie Stearns, says campus is the #1 location where students are exposed to secondhand smoke.
We want to create an environment on campus that's healthy and accessible for everybody on campus.
UM will be the 4th campus in Montana and one of more than 300 campuses nationwide to ban tobacco. Back to you at the news desk. Madison County is investigating the carbon monoxide deaths of a Sheridan couple. They were found in their home and a vehicle was running in the attached garage. Cleanup crews are trying to get rid of flammable vapors in a Miles City apartment building. Residents evacuated the complex after thousands of gallons of fuel leaked from a nearby gas station. And Montana House Republicans have elected Representative Mike Milburn of Cascade as their new speaker. For Montana PBS News Brief, I'm Brittany Woolley. Donations to universities are down across the country, but a group of unlikely heroes is dialing up some extra funds for the University of Montana. Honor Student Association Vice President Ali Beer is going trick-or-treating on Halloween. But instead of asking for candy, she and other volunteers will be collecting food for the Missoula Food Bank.
It's a fun way to be able to get involved in the community and still be able to do something that I love. I loved trick-or-treating when I was a kid and being able to dress up in a fun costume.
Missoula Food Bank Development Director Nick Roberts says the nonprofit relies heavily on the volunteer efforts of UM groups.
It's a really important partnership, not only to expose students, but to also be celebratory in supporting this community.
Oh, I have something for you.
Last year, the Trick or Eat food drive brought in close to 1,500 pounds of food for the food bank. Beer says she hopes to top that this year.
This is a small way to be able to help out, but if a bunch of people help contribute, and then we can make it a great turnout and get a lot of food.
Trick or Eaters will collect food in the University District on Halloween night. Reporting for UM News, I'm Brittany Woolley. Leah Grantham rakes leaves for autism awareness. She says the club has given her a sense of belonging.
At first I thought I'd been the only person with Asperger's syndrome or autism on campus, and it's a kind of a lonely, jarring experience thinking that there's nobody else quite like you.
Treva Bittinger founded the club because her son has autism.
Also, Joe Freezer on you.
She says the fundraiser helps members interact with each other and the community.
We have a hilarious time. We're not perfectionists, but we do the best we can, and we'll bag or we'll put them in the street, whatever the person desires.
Grantham says the organization helps her take a more activist stance on the issues people with autism face.
But I think we want to move on from autism awareness and to bring about autism acceptance. Bring it so that people like me, who had never really felt like they belonged in this community, can take an active role and feel like they are Missoulians and proud.
The group is currently taking requests for its leaf-raking services. Reporting for UM News, I'm Brittany Woolley.
It's a peer-reviewed application.
UM researcher David Poulsen studies the effects of methamphetamine on the brain.
Signature.
He discovered that a low dose of prescription-grade meth, given shortly after a rat suffers a stroke or traumatic brain injury, can protect the brain and even reverse some of the damage.
We've begun to just scratch the surface. There apparently is a lot of different effects that the drug has that are very beneficial in the brain.
Methamphetamine produces specific chemicals in the brain. Poulsen's research discovered that one of these chemicals triggers a signal in the cell that prevents it from dying. He's investigating the effectiveness of different doses of pharmaceutical-grade methamphetamine for a drug that could reverse the damage caused by a stroke or traumatic brain injury.
Most people don't realize that it is an FDA-approved prescription drug. And if you use it at the right doses, it's very therapeutically beneficial.
Currently, there is no treatment for traumatic brain injury. The director of clinical research at the Montana Neuroscience Institute, Cindy Laukas, says Poulsen's research is important because Montana is either number 1 or 2 in the nation for traumatic brain injury.
This has potentially huge benefit to the patients and to our population.
The drug has successfully completed the first phase of human clinical trials. Poulsen says they'll start the next phase of human trials as soon as they raise the $10 million needed. Reporting for UM News, I'm Brittany Woolley.
It's that woman with the axe again. Run away.
Professor Diana Six studies pine beetles. Her research at UM's Lubrecht Experimental Forest looks at how different treatments, including thinning and burning, affect beetle populations.
We're seeing beetles building up in just about every kind of stand out there, whether it's been treated or not. And that's because we've had warming trends, we've had drought, and that's what really sets the beetle off.
And it can push beetles right back out.
Trees respond to pine beetle attack by increasing their resin output to discourage or kill the beetles. The trees starve to death when the phloem is damaged enough to cut off the flow of water and nutrients.
You can see on some of these trees the resin globs are much smaller. That means the trees are much weaker, and it probably took fewer beetles to kill it.
The number of pine beetles dropped this year because of cold snap last October.
They sort of build up antifreeze, so they can live down to, I think, minus 40 degrees. But if they haven't built up the antifreeze and we get a cold snap, they die. So we lost a lot last year.
Six says the die-off is only temporary. Reporting for UM News, I'm Brittany Woolley.